Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome all to Bimlab's Design Talk. Today we are going to talk about the topic visualization. So before moving deep to the topic visualization, I will introduce you Bimlab. Bimlabs is situated in Kerala, which is southern part state of India, and we are learning partner, Autodesk learning partner, and also we are member of Indian Green Building Council, and we will give training, BIM trainings for students and corporates, and also we will uh, provide BIM implementation. We will give BIM implementation support for corporates and organizations. Also, we do BIM project outsourcing, and also BIM placement services are there in BIM Labs. And you can contact us through these mail IDs, WhatsApp number, Facebook, web, and LinkedIn IDs are provided here. You can contact us through these. And I'm Vijana BT, technical engineer in BIM Labs Engineering Services Private Limited. And this is my mail ID. Okay. So our topic is visualization. What is visualization? What is the term visualization means? Actually, when we try to create a design for our design from our ideas like designs of a buildings, we will create some 2D designs, 2D plan, elevation, sections, etc. We will create for a particular building. But when we are trying to create these 2D drawings, we will have the idea, or we are able to visualize how it will look like when it comes in the actual case after the construction, how our building will look like, right? The designers will have the idea to visualize the image, or the 3D image of the building after it's fine, only after the designing part. But actually, we are creating this drawings for giving this to the client. But our client may not have the ability to visualize the 2D drawing. They won't get the clear idea, or they won't get the detailed idea of what they are going to construct. So for helping our clients, or for getting much impression from our clients, we can use this visualization. There is a lot of softwares are available. Using those softwares, we can go for visualization, better visualization. There's a lot of softwares are there. Using those softwares, we can create walkthrough videos. We can go for rendering our 3D images. Lot of opportunities are there. But the most of the rendering softwares are costly when we go for purchasing those softwares. Okay, we will come later into that. And this visualization. Now you will get the idea what is a visualization. There are some many tools are there in the visualization. So actually, this visualization, it is acting as a language. It can be say it can call as a language between the client and the designer, because the client is getting the idea what the designer is going to put. So this we can call the visualization as the language between the client and the designer. Through this visualization, we can better and we can efficiently we can. It is the one of the effective, not one of the, it is the main effective method through which we can express our idea. It is only through the visualization. So in visualization, there is two main things. We will do rendering in visualization. Next is animation video. That is called a walkthrough videos in visualization. So for rendering, we can use different softwares. In the rendering, what is the in rendering we are actually taking rendered images of the 3D object, and the rendered image will be a photo. Rendered photo can be created from the 3D image, 3D model. And when it comes to the walkthrough or animation, we are creating a video, animated video of the building. It can be interior video inside. We can take the interior area we can cover the interior portion of the building in a animated video, and we can create outside video, outside walkthrough of a building that can be created in the walkthrough or animation part in the visualization. So in rendering, we are generating the photorealistic or non-photorealistic 2D image of our 3D model. And in animation, we are generating walkthroughs and scenes of our 3D model. For creating walkthrough, there is keyframes are there, and using that keyframes, actually, what is the animated video? Animated video is a video that is created by by simultaneously or by playing all the photos. Actually, this walkthrough is a set of photos that will play one after another in a particular time interval. So when we can like after combining all those photos and playing it a regular interval of time, we can call it as an animation. So we are getting the walkthrough videos like that. Then we can do render in the Revit software also. Revit is actually an modeling and analysis software, but in the Revit software, we can go for better rendering like the Autodesk Revit. It is Autodesk software. Revit is Autodesk software, and using the Autodesk Revit, it is actually a main software in the building information modeling. And using this, users can design buildings and the structures in 3D. And it is also a popular tool among the EAC professionals, and it can commonly used by the architects, landscape architects, engineers, as well as designers, and also the contractors. Right. And the rendering in Revit can offer a quick turnaround time, and it can be completed like in a quality performance. We will get a better quality performance, and also it is user friendly. It can help increasing the efficiency and accuracy throughout the design process as it updates to the floor plan elevations. Also, the section can be made as the model when the model develops, right? And it can also be useful. It can be a useful, sorry, not useful, powerful like collaboration tool. Like there is a collaborate tab in the Revit, and it can be used for different collaboration between different teams and disciplines. We can use that options in the collaborate tab, and the visualization actually created in Revit can be presented as a walkthrough to communicate the design, our design ideas, and the concept to the team members and also for the client. And there is two terms which are given in the slide. The first one is system rendering or the native rendering, and the second one is cloud rendering. So what is this term system or native rendering means? Actually, by the in the Revit software, there is provision for doing the rendering itself using the Revit software, and also we can do cloud rendering in the Revit. For the native rendering, there is option in the view tab, like in the from the I will show you that from the software. In the software, there is a view tab. From the view tab, there is option for render. Using this option, you can render your 3D model. That is called a system rendering. But below that, there is option for rendering cloud is there. We can only render in cloud if we are having the Autodesk ID and password with us, then we can go for rendering cloud. In some terms, we can say that the rendering cloud is more better than the normal render. Like when we are moving with the normal render, we can render at the progress of the rendering. We cannot do anything in the current rendering project. We cannot do anything. But we are going with the rendering cloud. We can again even in the progress time of the rendering, we can do changes in the file. we can edit the file, and that is not possible in the case before. And there is also some other, and below there is an option called a render gallery. And if you are selected this rendering cloud, we will go to another window. In that window, we can go for the normal, not normal, cloud rendering. That is the difference between cloud rendering and the native rendering. And when we move to the first rendering type, that is native rendering or system rendering, from the view tab, we will get the option for render. We can select that for the render. Then we will get a dialog box like this. To the right, you can see there is a dialog box. When coming to the web project, you can select on the render. After selecting the render, you will get a dialog box like this. Here you can go for setting the quality of your rendering. Like when I click on this drop down, you can see that there is six type of qualities you can set for your render. If I'm like when we are rendering using this Revit, we can render our model within minutes. It can take from minutes to hours. So if different quality can also be assigned from draft to best or high quality can be set to the quality. And after setting the quality, we can also set the resolution of our render image. Like dot per inch is there. We can set the dot per inch for resolution. And for the lightings, below that there is an option for lighting. It will determine you are going for day render or the night render. This lighting settings will determine whether it is we are choosing the night render or the day render. So here you can see that there is different options. We know that like in the slides, in this slide, you can see this is a night rendering, and there is also day render. This the first image will show you the day render. Okay, so in the for the day rendering, we have to set the scene from sun only to exterior sun only. This is the settings which we need to keep for the day rendering. And if you're moving to the if you want the night rendering, then we have to set this exterior artificial only type. Okay, this option we have to set if you want the night rendering. And below that there is sun setting is there. And if you go to the artificial exterior artificial only, that is night rendering, then we will have to choose here. Here will give this image will give you the night rendering. This will be from here. You can see that this image you can see that some artificial lights are there, and that artificial lights are active in the night render. But when I move to the day rendering image, here you can see that the artificial lights are like street lights are placed on the image, but it is not active. Okay, so for getting the artificial or getting the night render, we also have to place the artificial light, and we should active those lights. And for that we can go for the settings here. Okay, we can adjust the exposure. Then we can go to the settings. Yeah, here is the artificial settings option. Artificial light option is there. This option you can use for setting the setting or the artificial light. You can decide which of the artificial light you have to put on, or which are the artificial light you don't have to. You have to uncheck. That you can determine. And now it is inactive mode because we haven't placed any artificial light in our drawing. If we have placed any artificial light, this will be active. Like I will show you. I'm moving to the architecture, and from the components you can select the place a component option. And when moving to the load family, there is by default in Revit there is option for loading the for getting the artificial light component. We can go for libraries in Revit. From the libraries, selecting this folder, India folder. In that there is option for lighting, this lighting, and from the lighting folder, you can load the lighting. These are the example. And there is MEP and architecture folder is there. I'm selecting the architecture folder and we want to give the external light. So selecting the external folder. From this, I can place the wall light. These are the street light and bollard light. I will show you the bollard light. So I can place the normal wall light, any type of light which is available in the Revit library. I can place it directly from the load family. Then after placing that wall light here, and after that when I move to the render option from view tab, I can do like this. Like here, I can set the artificial light. And near to that, there is sun settings there. That will, using clicking on the box near to the sun setting, I can go to. This will be active only after giving the artificial, placing all the artificial lights, and when choose for the option render, this will get active. Okay. After rendering, we can adjust the artificial light and exposure. So here I'm selecting this sun setting. For the sun setting or for the location, we can click on this box here. And after selecting this, you will get a sun setting dialog like this. In that, you can see that here is the solar study, and we can set the location here. Like we can select our city from the list given in the location. After selecting the box, you will get like this, and from here you can select your city. From these options, you can choose your city, and we can set the rendering appearance at the particular location which we want, and also the particular time and the date which we want. We can set those two these options. We can decide that. Okay. For setting the date, you can directly edit from here, and for the time, you can edit it here. Okay. And after that, you can see in the slide this one. Yeah, this picture shows the day rendering, and here you can see that this shows the day rendering, and this will give you the evening rendering. And this is not the system rendering. It is actually rendered using the help of Enscape plugin in the Revit, and that will explain now. Okay, so this image. For this image, you can see there is a background image there. There is actually background images added at the image, added in this rendered image, and that background can be add like this. From here, from the background, here you can set for the image. After selecting the image, you will get a dialog like this, and here clicking on the image, you can select the particular image that you have downloaded or saved in your PC. You can go for changing that. Then you will get you can add the images like this as a background for the rendering. These are the options, these are the settings that we can do in the rendering. And when we move to the adjust exposure, we can adjust the highlight, shadow, saturation, white points, etc. Using this piece control mark, we can control keys, we can control the exposure. So this slide will explain you how to do rendering, and that is explain. I have explained that using the Revit software. And the next thing I have to say is like we can do rendering with the help of different softwares like Enscape, Lumion, V-Ray, etc. That is actually separate software, but when we go for purchasing or the Enscape or the Lumion, it will cost more. And if you're going for the software, the another disadvantage is we will have to, after modeling in the Revit, we will have to again model some components in the rendering software also, and it will take too much time. So in the Revit also, we can render these images for a better like in a better way. Like we can add these Enscape, V-Ray, Lumion, etc. These kind of softwares as a plugin in the Revit, and I'll show you that. In my Revit software, you can see that there is a plugin here. Can you see the Enscape? And after selecting the Enscape here, you will get the options for doing the rendering in Enscape. And after clicking on the start on the left, you can go for rendering in the Revit plugin. And when we move for the Revit plugin, there is also extra a lot of library components are there. Using the library components, we can better change our components which are placed already in the Revit model. Like we don't get too much of Revit component in the Revit default family itself. But we move to the Enscape plugin, we will get a lot of family, a lot of asset library options, a lot of component options are there in the asset library on the top. That will help you a lot. And that change you can see from the images given in the slide. From this slide, you can see that from the on the left side, that those are the images that is rendered in using the Enscape as a plugin. And to the right of that, those two images are rendered in the Revit software itself. And you can see the image difference in those images. From the for the first left side, from the in the left side, that those two images are having more detail, like more detail than the other two. And also it is having much more color for the components. So these Revit users can also use this Enscape with their favorite modeling software, which is Revit, and as a plugin to the Revit, you can also use other rendering softwares also. I'm not like saying that Revit is best for using this, but if there is opportunities like this, as a plug, you can use this as a plugin to Revit, and it can we can for using we will get a real time rendering tool in the from the Enscape as a when we are using it as a plugin. And this Enscape will allow you to like for exploring your Revit project in a high quality real time environment. And there is another important thing is there we can render this our model in a very short time when compared to the native rendering. Native when we move go to the native or system rendering, we know that it will take a lot of time. Like it can take to minutes to hours for completing a model for rendering, and it actually it is a long process. But we do that in any plugin NK for Romeo. It will take only very less time. Within seconds or within minutes, we will get the rendered image. And uh, walkthrough also it is same. We will get a better walkthrough. And when we will look for the walkthrough of these Enscape, we are actually getting a rendered walkthrough in the Enscape. So its quality will be better when compared to the normal system workbooks. And this Inkscape ease of use is a huge benefit for Revit users, and there is no need of special training needed for mastering this Revit rendering and visualization in the Inkscape. It's actually a symbol window. In that window, you will only have some symbol options are there. You will also you will understand by seeing those options what it means to, and it doesn't need any training for familiarize that. And there is an ample info. There is also like yeah, there is no need of training for that. You will always you can understand that. And this rendering for Revit will like actually with rendering with the Enscape will give you the option for experience here. Also, it this Enscape will give you the option for experience your designs through virtual reality also. That's another important thing. And with just one click, you can start visual reality directly from your project. And this will enable you to navigate and experience your model easily. Then, then moving to the next slide, like this picture actually shows the like organic foam material, which is rendered using the Revit. And next is animations in Revit. That is the walkthrough scene. That I have already said that a walkthrough, so it can be also called a scene. It is an animation of series of images to present the model. Like when we start the software, you can see the walkthrough option is in the from the view tab. like from the 3D, by clicking on 3D view drop down, you will get the option for walkthrough. Using this by selecting the walkthrough, you will directly go for edit walkthrough option. Using that, it's loading. So yeah, we will move to the option for load walkthrough, and it will be it is we can only take walkthrough when we are in a plan view. Like for this plan view, I can select the walkthrough option, and my cursor will I can click for the keyframes using this cursor, and there is an offset value. We can give a offset value on the top, and this offset value will determine at which height our camera is moving. It is like a these walkthroughs are like a man is moving with a camera, and that camera will be at a height of 175. This offset can be changed. Like if I want to create walkthrough videos at a 150, by placing my camera at a 150 height, I can give this offset value to 150 height, and I can place points like this. And after placing these points, I can take. Actually, these points are called keyframes. This keyframe will determine which view I have to select, or I have to set for the this animation video. And you can create some frames like this. After that, you can click for the finish walkthrough. Then finally you have to select the edit walkthrough, and these red points are called the keyframes of this animated video. And then you can go for changing the frame from 1 to 300. There is total 300 number of frames are there. You can change the value. Then it can also go for editing the walkthrough time. Like in the from this is property palette. In the property palette, when we move to the others category, there is walkthrough frame option is there. We can, after selecting clicking on there, the 300 there, you can go for editing the walkthrough frame. Like so you can see that the frame per second is given as 50, and the total time of the video is 20. If the total time of the video is actually determining by the frame per second of this animated video. Actually, per second they will play 15 number of frames in a second. And if I am decreasing the number of frames per second, I'm giving 5 as the frame per second. Then you can see that and click on apply. Then you can see that the total time of the video has changed to 1 minute. From the 20 second, it has changed to 60 seconds, right? So that's how we can change the time of the walkthrough or animation video. And here you can see that now we are in the uniform speed. That's why that it is having these acceleration for each frame. It is having one acceleration, and also there is option for changing the acceleration of the video frames in the for the frames in the video. If I'm unchecking the uniform speed, you can change the acceleration of each frames in that animated video. So these are the settings for the animated video. And after selecting these key points and setting the and completing the settings, you can click on open walkthrough. And you have to set here one, and you can click on the open walkthrough. Then you will get a starting image like this. Now it is not in the realistic. I can set from the status bar. I can set the graphical display option to the realistic. Then I can click on the play button. So you can see that I'm getting the walkthrough video of the that building. If it is having a little bit more, it is having more speed, you can also decrease the speed by decreasing the frame per second number. Now it is having 5 frame per second. You can again increase the frame per second for increasing the speed of the video. So you can play again, and for opening that walkthrough, you can click on here. Then your walkthrough, you will can open your walkthrough. And you can here we see that we can create interior walkthrough of a building, and we can create scenes around a building site. Then this will show this explain you how to create a walkthrough video like this. In the figure, these red points are the keyframes. We can create like this. Next is 3D Revit rendering with the Enscape. I already explained that, and it is a plugin. We can add it as a plugin to Revit, and it will help us use the option to experience this into virtual reality, etc. And what is the benefits of Enscape 3D? It actually helps you to create very good quality rendering with a short period of time, right? Its render quality is high, and it has we can create walkthrough is a rendered walkthrough. In Revit, it is actually normal walkthrough, and when we have rendered using the Enscape, it is a rendered walkthrough. We are getting the rendered walkthrough, and enrages are automatically replaced from the Revit family. That means the Revit components for the 3D model, they will have the 3D like Revit components will be there, and those components will be directly when we go for edit, when we go for changing that to the render, when we go for rendering in the Enscape, that components will automatically get replaced to the Enscape library. And global illumination is there, high quality asset library. We are having high quality asset libraries when compared to Revit library, and also VR export option is available. This picture show you a rendered this is the rendered image using the help of Enscape in the as a plugin in the Revit. This shows you the evening time rendering. For this, we can set the time as 5:30 or 6 p.m. Evening time. Then we will get this kind of rendering appearance, daytime rendering. And this rendering is an this image has rendered using the Enscape software. Enscape as a plugin in the Revit software. And here you can see we are getting more detail of this image when compared to the Revit. Like can see this is a this first image. Actually, this is the image 3D model, and here you can see that for the this is a Revit rendering, normal system rendering, and when we compare that system rendering to this rendering, we can see the image. We can see the change. The detailing is more in the Revit Enscape rendering, and this is an example of rendering. Uh, uh, like it is a replica of Burj Khalifa rendered in the Enscape using the help of Enscape. And this is an image video when like combining SketchUp plus Enscape using those rendering softwares. We can create rendering walkthrough videos like this, and the audio is added using some video editing software. Then what are the Revit BIM benefits for construction? First one is improved planning. Like coordinated 3D BIM models using the Revit will help construction professionals to check interference among building systems. And this BIM model will help you to visualize structures prior to the construction, and will offering improved project plans, and also clash can detect for removing major system conflicts between not between before installation. And the second one is error identification. This 3D modeling will BIM 3D modeling will allow construction firms to review design elements with respect to other building systems and services. And this BIM 3D visualization and the 3D rendering in Revit allow stakeholders involved in the construction process to share the project image effectively and identify the errors and the inconsistencies in early stages of construction. This Revit software actually helps to bring life to BIM models. It will start from the abstract to the photorealistic visualization. 3D visualization will ensure a design vision before the beginning of the real construction. And the next is flash resolution. Using the BIM coordination in Revit, it helps to visualize the schematic structures before the beginning of construction process, leading to better project planning. This eliminates a rework during the construction phase. They will save the time and money. Then clash are resolved among the various trades by sharing 3D snapshots. When the utilities are rerouted, then elevation is changed and the resized for the resolving clashes through BIM coordination. And the next point is work safety. And for a BIM pre-construction, in the BIM pre-construction site logistics, it will involve a visual representation of construction plan and implementation. Starting from the conceptual, a dedicated planning and estimation will help you to make careful project evaluation and will offering customized logistic solutions. And this logistic rabbit BIM solutions ensure a safe and efficient work environment for all the site workers. And the site of logistic plans are submitted to plan master developers before the beginning of actual construction and site establishments detailing the access to site, plot layout down, the loading and crane placement area, then security gate, truck discharge location, several other information. And the last point is winding bid. Actually, the construction professionals can bid for project through marketing BIM presentation of 3D rendered image, then 4D spacing, site logistics, as well as walkthrough animated infographic. That innovative BIM is used to present an accurate project representation, helping the construction professionals to win competitive bids. Then the rendering image can often compress to realistic textures with the shadow. Also, there is option in Revit for adding shadows, and we can, if you want to put on the shadow, you can put on the shadow. And if you don't want to put shadow for your building, you can turn that shadow mode off, and also the artificial lights. Moreover, the construction phasing and the photorealistic walkthrough included in animation presentation reveal every angle of constructed space. And the 3D walkthrough are often realistic and more clients and offer clients a feeling of actual moving through the like the interior and exterior side of the building. This helps the construction professionals to navigate construction on their own terms. And this 3D walkthrough make a winning situation for the project stakeholders by letting them experience a realistic feel of building size and also its layout. So thank you. And this is a feedback form. You can give feedback using this link, and we copy this to your chat in this chat. And this is next on design talk, conceptual design using SketchUp. These are the BIM community links. Thank you all. Have any queries?